says I'm live. Should be live. It looks like I'm live. Um, so we'll just say I'm live. Brian Lenny here. Obviously, if you're on my page, you're watching this. Senate elect, incoming senator for Nampa District 13. Um, I titled this live video "Men Without Chests." Now that's a quote from C.S. Lewis. He has a book called "The Abolition of Man," and I forgot if it's a section in it's on my bookshelf, but I forgot if it's a section in C.S. Lewis's book, "The Abolition of Man," or if it's like a separate essay. But it's called "Men Without Chests," meaning men without courage, men without tenacity, men without chests, men who don't act like men. And when I look at the results of Brad Little's special session yesterday, that was just top of mind. That was the first thought I had. So I wanted to just briefly talk about it. I know everyone's talking about it. There's news articles, whatever. But here's kind of what happened. If people are like, because I'm getting emails and texts and things like that from people who maybe saw bits and pieces of it, or people who don't understand stuff like that. So I was at the special session all day yesterday from 7 a.m. to about 6 p.m. Chris Trakel and I, who's also senator-elect, who smoked Greg Cheney in the primary election. We went yesterday and kind of hung out all day, went to all the meetings, all the sessions, all the arguments. And it was kind of sad to watch, because what happened is essentially this: Brad Little called a special session, so he can do that. So in Idaho, just for people who don't know, I'll just start from the beginning. Brad Little called a special session of the Idaho legislature, meaning everyone had to come into town for a one-day session for the purpose of hearing and debating one bill. And that was a bill that Brad Little came up with, not the legislature. Bills are supposed to, in my understanding, I haven't been sworn in yet, but my understanding is bills are supposed to originate in the House or the Senate, not the governor's office. But what happened is he called a special session, said, hey, here's the bill, just vote up or down on it, have a nice day. So I can go on all the nuances and things like that, but all of the Democrats voted for it at the end of the day. All of the Democrats voted for it gladly. IACI, which stands for the Idaho Association of Commerce and Industry, they're the fourth branch of government in Idaho. IACI, the president, got up in a committee. Again, I was there for all of this. I watched everything. He got up and said, we are thrilled with this bill. This is big business, pro-lockdown, pro-mask mandates. These are the ones who said some businesses should be essential, some should not, stuff like that. IACI is thrilled with the bill. The Democrats are thrilled with the bill. Reclaim Idaho, who's a socialist group in Idaho, they said they're happy. They said this is a big win for us. So a socialist group, a big business lobbyist, pro-lockdown, big business lobbyists are happy with it. The Democrats are happy with it. Of course, the education lobby is happy with it. And at the end of the day, you just saw a bunch of people cave. So the way I understand the bill, and not just me, but many of our legislators understand the bill, is that first of all, it's unconstitutional, because in Idaho, we have essentially a rule saying any bill has to have one subject for one bill. So you can't have a bill dealing with tax policy and, let's just say, water rights. They're two totally separate things in one bill. One subject, one bill. This bill arguably was two subjects for sure, which was giving education a bunch of money and taxes, or you could even cut it up into three subjects: giving education a bunch of money, a tax rebate, and a tax policy change to change our tax policy. So it's two subjects for sure, possibly 3 in my opinion. So you had several legislators get up in committee and on the House floor and the Senate floor saying, "Hey, this video, sorry, I'm doing a video. This bill, it might be unconstitutional. It's probably unconstitutional, but I'm going to vote for it anyway." You had legislators get up, Republican legislators, get up and say, "Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this part of the bill, but I like this, so I'm going to vote for it anyway." You had people get up and say, "This sets a dangerous precedent for the Idaho legislature because this is what Congress does. They put like 20 things in one bill and just do an up or down vote on it." So you had people get up and say, "This is bad. It sets a dangerous precedent. I don't think it's constitutional, but I'm going to vote for it anyway." I don't want to talk about the specifics of the bill. There's people who did that already and who are doing that and have done that. So this is what, including both of my representatives who I speak to, my senator, they all voted for it. It just boggles my mind that someone could speak out of both sides of their mouth in public, on video, on record, and sleep well last night. That you could say this is unconstitutional and it's a bad bill and it sets a bad precedent, but I'm going to vote for it anyway. You have Republicans saying that. I would say men without chests. I'm sure I'll get accused of slander or being really mean, but I don't really care. And there's also the question of why did Brad Little call this session right now? Meaning yesterday. Why did he not wait until January? Because I had a few Republican legislators. I was there at the Capitol all day. I had a lot of conversations. So did everybody. But you had a few Republican legislators selling it as like, hey, tax cuts are good. Tax cuts are good. They went from 6% to 5.8%. That's not a big tax. That's nothing. That's not a big tax cut. There's a tax rebate. Cool. I'll get a check for $300. I can fill up my truck 1.5 times. I can fill up my gas tank 1.5 times. You're not moving the needle. You're not helping inflation. You're not helping Idaho families. If you're going to do that, give us a significant tax cut. Give us a significant tax rebate. But this bill was about giving money, education, and caving to lobbyists. And I forgot who it was yesterday. They said on the floor, what we're doing with this bill is saying, if you're a lobbyist group, you can put a ballot initiative. This is what Reclaim Idaho did. They got 100,000 signatures. They got a ballot initiative that we're going to see on the November election. You can put a ballot initiative on the ballot and therefore pressure the governor to call a special session just to kind of get rid of the ballot initiative. You're basically telling lobbyist groups like Reclaim Idaho. Okay, it was Ron Nate who said that. Perfect. You're telling, thanks, Dustin. You're telling lobbyist groups, hey, if you guys do enough work, you can pressure the governor into holding a special session. And then the governor went behind the backs of the public and got like 30 plus co-sponsors on the bill. He didn't contact everyone. They didn't have the debate in public. They did it all behind closed doors. They called a special session and said, just vote on this, yes or no. End of day. So it's just, I don't even want to talk about the bill per se. I just wanted to get it off my chest that you have a bill that Reclaim Idaho loves, that IACI is thrilled with, that the Democrats all voted for, that the education lobby loves, that many people thought was illegal, and most of our Republican senators and representatives voted for it. They voted for this. That's what's really going on. It's going to change in January, at least on the Senate side. It's going to change. Yeah, Heather Scott killed it yesterday. Tammy Nichols killed it yesterday. Judy Boyle killed it yesterday. Gay Ann, District 14. I always mess up her last name. we have a lot of women with bigger cojones, metaphorically speaking, in our legislature than we do men who have. I don't want to. There's women who are just leading this thing, and they're great women, and I'm glad that they are in our legislature. So, anyway, I just wanted to just get that off my chest. I guess that's why you do Facebook Live videos, right? I'm not going to talk about policy. Of course, you talk to your legislator who voted for this, they'll tell you it's more complex than you think, and you don't understand. But there's a lot of legislators who didn't vote for it. This is a problem. This is a problem. Brad Little is not a king. We're not supposed to be voting for bills that are unconstitutional. If I was sworn in when this happened, even if I liked the bill, even if I thought it was a good bill, I would have still voted no because I believe it's an unconstitutional bill. But apparently ethics and principles went out the window yesterday, and we voted for it. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking because I'm just rambling at this point, and I got to go eat lunch. But hey, come January, you're going to see a completely different culture in the Senate. The House is losing a bunch of good people, sadly, but just wanted to make this quick video and give you my thoughts on it. I will see all of you guys around the interwebs. Going to end the video. Bye.